All right, everybody, welcome back to episode number 102. So, this is going to be a layout update, and right now we're continuing our work in the Bay Ridge staging yard. So, right now I have got track 35 in, and now I'm working on track 36. So, I'm going to get this piece in, and then I'm going to run a test train. Right now, the train is sitting on the staging track over here. So once I get this siding in, I'll bring the train in and test it out. So let's get back to work. All right, so I got the track installed, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean the rail heads, and then I'm going to run an engine through, and then we're going to test run a actual consist. So let me get the cleaning tools out, and let's clean these rail heads. All right, so that was a success. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to shove the whole consist in here and see how the cars take the switches. So we'll be right back. All right, so I had a successful run, no issues at all. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to work on this track here. That's going to feed two more sidings for this in the staging yard. So I'm going to start with this track. All right, so let's show you the progress of what I've been working on. So I was able to get track 34 in, which is here. 35 and 36 are in. And what I have to do next is put track 33 in. So I got my work train sitting down in here right now. And if you're not aware, New Haven had converted a lot of their former passenger cars into work trains. So they use these on the wreck trains, they use these on the wire trains. They had these, and then they also had the old Palace cars too. So I have some Palace cars I'm going to paint up. So they usually, I don't know if this is actually even prototypical, but it's close enough for me. And then I picked this up, which is a New Haven idler car. I don't even know if this even existed, but it was neat. So it's one of those things that you have to pick up. It's missing one railing here. But what I'm going to do is, this is a Tichy kit car. It's a tool car actually made by Tichy Trains. So I'm going to see if I can just order this one piece and then paint it and put it on. But I ended up buying this, I bought this car used. But it's right now, this is serving as my work train. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this track in, which is track 33. And then once that is done, I have to waiting on 2 more of these bumping blocks for this area. Now, one of the things that I wanted to show everybody is that originally this was supposed to be hidden staging, and I was trying to figure out a couple things, and I had one of those aha moments in the middle of the night when I was working on the layout. So this still is going to be partially hidden staging, but I'm gonna make it so you can actually see what's going on. So once I get, and you'll understand it more once you see probably the next layout update, once I have the fascia up. Actually, I don't think I'll have the fascia up by the next layout update, but I'll show you an example of what I'm gonna do. And basically, once I put the fascia here, fascia is probably gonna be this tall all the way up to like this level here. So you're probably looking at probably about 16 inches of fascia that's gonna sit on the front. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put rectangular holes in the fascia so you actually can see in and see the trains. So this is now going to be scenic. And if you notice here, I have a mini skyboard. My favorite thing to build, and I'm being sarcastic with that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put in this piece of skyboard, and then I'm gonna make a custom piece for right over here. And since this is going to be Bay Ridge, I looked at some pictures online, and this yard has a view of Manhattan. So what I'm gonna do is I have Manhattan already as a backdrop picture, and I'm gonna shrink it down to show some distance. And this is only about 7.5 inches tall, almost 8 inches tall, roughly around that. That's all you're gonna need for that area. So this is going to be mounted right over here, and I'm gonna actually have another layout. The upper part of the layout will be right over here as well. So you'll be able to look down and see your trains coming in and out of the yard. The switches are going to be hand thrown. So if there's going to be an opening here, all you have to do is reach in and switch the switch. That, number one, that saves me on converting these switches and putting the tortoise machines in. If I can reach the switch, I'm going to make it a hand-powered switch. This one as well. This switch here, what I'm going to do with that one is I'm going to put one of those Blue Point manual switch machines underneath, and I'll run the cable out here because the fascia is going to be right at this point here. All right, so I'm going to get back to work, and I'm going to get this track in for tonight, and then I'm going to start mounting the skyboard. All right, so let's get back to work. All right, so I got track 33 installed, and as you can tell, it is operational. So the next step, what I'm going to have to do is get all my feeders together and start soldering all the feeders on, and then I'm going to start working on the skyboard. So let me get my soldering supplies out, and then we'll start. All right, so I'm making some good progress on the Bay Ridge yard section. I got all the track buttoned up as far as being leveled off. As you can tell, everything is nice and level. And I'll show you another. It's also important to have the track level on both areas. So the next thing I'm going to work on is I have to make an adjustment on this riser there. I'm going to construct the small skyboard here, and I'm also going to construct the small skyboard that's going to be sitting right on the back here. And then after that, I'm going to measure and cut the pieces and install them on the skyboard. I'm actually going to paint the skyboard in place. I'm not going to take it off. It'll be just a lot easier just to do it where it sits. So I'm going to get this going, and then I'll show you what my progress will be. Hopefully I can get most of this done this week. I do have a deadline to meet, so let's get to work. All right, so I got all the backing wood cut for the actual skyboards, and right now I'm going to start gluing and screwing them all onto the back drop here. So I had to measure all these different sections, but it should come together pretty quickly. So let me get this stuff together, and then we'll be back. All right, so I got the whole skyboard installed, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to prepare all these screw holes for some drywall compound. So I'm just going to lightly sand the tops just to get it ready. This is a cool area where the backdrop actually curves with the benchwork. So I was able to do that. And so far I'm pretty pleased. So let's get started. All right, so now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the vacuum, I'm going to clean this up, and I'm going to put the drywall compound on the holes, and then when we come back tomorrow, I'll sand them down, and then we can paint the backdrop. So we'll be back, and when we come back, I'll show you the progress I did on the spackling. All right, so I got all the holes plugged up, and now I just gotta let it dry. So this is gonna be it for tonight, but I'm definitely pleased with the progress so far. But if you were wondering what I used, this is the putty knife that I used. You want to make sure you get a good quality tool. Don't buy junk. And then and then I'm using this all-purpose sheetrock spackle. So works very well. You don't need a lot of it, and it's pretty fast drying. So, but we're gonna come back in the morning and or in the afternoon and get it sanded, and then I'm gonna get the track all wired up. Then I'm gonna weather the track. Then I'm gonna paint the backdrop. So let's see how much I can get done. We'll be back. All right, everybody. So I was hoping to get a little bit farther than I did, but I just ran out of steam. This is getting late, and I'm working with a soldering iron, and I need to know when to say when. So I don't want to mess anything up. So I did get quite a bit in. I was able to get in all the drops, all the feeders for these three tracks. Track 33 is the only one left, and I got these feeders in, and then I have to put in 3 more along the back. This track here, and then also these tracks here. So this is going to come out in the next installment of my layout update. This is too much to get done tonight, and so I'm going to continue on, and I should have, if everything goes right, I should have all this done before the weekend's out, and then I can move on to the next phase. So if you noticed in my thumbnail, there was a tower. I just want to show you this. So this is a Foscale model. This is one of the Kit of the Month kits, and my good friend Doug Foscale gave it to me, and this was actually the prototype that he made for the Kit of the Month. So it's going to be part of my Bay Ridge yard. It's a really cool model. So, but anyway, so this is where it's going to live, and then I'm going to be adding other scenery as well. But if you haven't already, please hit the like button. If you're not already, also please subscribe. I do have a lot of other content. So before I sign off, I just want to thank all my subscribers for supporting my channel. I do have a lot of content coming out, so check my community page for the schedule. And so also on the next layout update, what I'm hoping to get done is finishing up the soldering of the feeders, getting this painted, and then pretty soon I'm going to put the upper level on. So that's hopefully going to be in the next installment of my layout updates, which you will see in September. So this is Ron Haven Rails. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you at the next layout update.